Kids living at home, living it up, and
Living it
buying
rent free.
property rent free. We're going to talk about it. What we see in the marketplace with kids living at home and buying property.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Hey, Billy Bob, how are you? Where is that your place you're at?
Good morning. Yeah, this is the living room of the castle, rent free.
That's palatial. That's palatial. Hey, Bill, what's happening out there in with first home buyers and kids staying at home with all your mates? You're 21.
21, about to be
What are you seeing
22.
out there? What's the
This is
patterns?
such a good topic. I've just popped in a little link there, everyone, as well. This is what sort of struck the conversation for today. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a share screen, but what it does show you is um, what age the average Aussie is buying property, and they've tracked it since 1971. So you can
Oh,
see the last sort of 50 years worth of, first home buyers. What's normal? Um, it, First home buyers are getting older. That's the reality.
yeah, it looks like that when I look at first home buyers, everyone's really helpful with the uh, deposit situation, 5% deposit and no stamp duty and stuff. But it just seems like the threshold for income's crippling, where, to get in, I think we did it with Zach the other day, to get in for 600K, I think that a first home buyer needs to be on over 100K as a single wage.
Yeah, spot on.
How do you do that?
It's a lot of money. I think it was like 120,000 just to service that portion of the loan, and even in Sydney, that's not buying you much. So the boomerang generation has been born. I think this has probably been around for a little while, would you say? But certainly seeing it more now than ever.
So what
Stayvesting.
happened? What's boomeranging?
The boomerang analogy is like leaving home and coming back. And I don't know if most parents allow it. I don't think my parents are too keen on the idea.
I would be cool doing it if my kids are investing that money that they're saving. Um, do you know what I mean? Because I think that's to see that sort of money pissed up the wall, living at home, going out every night, like plenty of holidays, and they're like 28, 30. You'd be like, you really got to be doing a little bit more with your money.
Yeah, yeah, and then I think the idea of stay vesting is such a good way to get ahead. Building wealth at home where you can go out there, you can buy a property, and enjoy the benefits of living at home for just that little while longer, but have something growing for you in the background. It's like the golden. I never thought of it this way, but this really is the golden ticket opportunity. And if you let it go, good luck to you later on. Because when you move out and you're paying $500 a week in rent, it
Yeah.
kills your cash flow. But also the banks look at you in a very different lens, very different light. You've got big overheads.
You look, I'm 48, so I see that window and that opportunity is a very clear one. But for a 18-year-old or for a 22-year-old, like how you sort of you just think it's your parents harping on, but you're absolutely right. There's this golden ticket, where you can tell the banks you're not paying any rent, where you can tell the banks that you're staying there in that property indefinitely. You can tell the banks you're staying there indefinitely.
Yeah,
You can buy the first home property for yourself, um, as long as you're living in there for a very short time. You can actually return back home, and you've got the rent coming in, you've got your wage coming in. You're not paying the rent from the investment property. You're not paying rent with the oldies. there's this beautiful window of an opportunity not just to get the money from the banks and buy the property, but to actually cash flow for a couple of years.
Yes, spot on. You've almost hit the jackpot with the trifecta. You've got the cash flow coming in, you've got the growth whilst you're at home, and then you've taken
Yeah.
advantage of all the government grants. You've soaked all the help up, and I think the help is needed. It's a tough, market to get into. It's certainly not done without a helping hand, but the helping hand doesn't have to be from mum and dad giving you the money. Full stop. I think it can come other ways, and taking advantage of sort of that low hanging fruit, what's on the table. This is a really good one. I've
It's
seen
just
so many.
working the system, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I've seen so many friends come out of school as well, and they're on really good wages. Some of them left school year 10 and 11, and now they're fully qualified trades. They're doing really well, and putting some good savings away. So this is good if they can back this up with mum and dad's help, and sometimes take it for granted. I think a little bit.
Yeah, and probably the most unutilized thing that I see with these people, these young guys, I think you can call it stay vesting, where you stay at home and you invest. But that stay vesting, I think the golden opportunity there is also with superannuation, where you can actually save a little bit more, tuck it away into your super, and pull it out on an agreement with our friends in government that you can use your super as a first home buyer. So it's definitely possible to do, but you have to set yourself up for it early. As in,
Yeah,
not when you're ready to buy. As in, as soon as you start saving any money, have a look into the super opportunity. You're not buying it in your super; you're buying it in your natural name, but you're using your super money that you've on top that you've saved extra.
yeah,
So I think if you're really committed to this cause and you're staying at home, and you really want to do it, it can be done. But I can see an 18-year-old, 19, 20, 21-year-old just not understanding really that opportunity, and then looking back in their 30s, 35, and go, shit, you know what? I could have done it back then.
yeah, yeah. Spot on. I think that scheme is the FHSSS, the First Home Super Saver Scheme. So you can Google that. But you're so right. You can't do this when you want to buy a property. It's got to be done 3-4 years earlier. When you're sort of just starting to put some money aside.
And you're expecting young people to act like old people. Like, it's quite counterintuitive, because this opportunity will be explained to you by family, friends, mum or dad, and it's literally just straight over your head. I get it.
Yeah, but you'll thank yourself later if you can even just spare 5 minutes to listen to it and take it in deeply. I think I feel pretty lucky to have stay vested.
Yeah, and I don't think you actually go without. People often think they have to go without, like you're not going to be able to do the holidays, or you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. But it seems like these first home buyers out there end up having it all anyway. Like, I find, yes, it's hard, but they end up, within moderation, they're carrying that mortgage as the first home. They're staying with the oldies, but they're still enjoying all the fruits they were going to enjoy anyway. Often they end up moving out and going into rental accommodation and keeping that first home property rented out as well. But it doesn't seem to be too much of a wound moving forward when young first home buyers buy property and do that.
Yeah, spot on. I think at the start you're absolutely right, and then it becomes like an expensive phone bill. It actually sets you up for some really good saving and spending patterns, because it's just every month, every week, in and out, in and
Yeah.
out. So yeah, and then you get back
And
on
we've all
top.
done it. And we've all done it. Do you know what I mean? You're doing it. We've done. I've done it. Like, it's one of those things. So definitely, the old utilize guy. Guys and girls utilize the mum and dad. Utilize the message from today's to utilize stay vesting. utilize those grants and start early. So it doesn't necessarily mean you got to buy something today, but you got to start farming and planting those seeds years and years before you do it. So you need tips and tricks like this.
And I'm sure mum and dad will be very grateful to see that it's going towards some good work. You know, their hard work is being passed on.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a bit of a joint venture. You know, like it's a pledge for mum and dad to have you around. You know, in your 20s, and you know, it's a pledge for the son or daughter to actually, you know, save a little bit, get into that property. So everyone's sacrificing a little bit now for a lot later.
Yeah, that's the show.
That's the
Hop
show.
on that link. Hop on that
Have
link
a great
as well.
day, Billy Bob. And Bill, we got the big game on this Sunday.
What game? I don't watch that sport.
You got a footy top on, Bill.
Yeah, I do.
What's
I
Lisa
do.
saying?
Lisa's putting that link on there for everyone.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, have a great week. Long weekend this weekend. Footy's on. And we'll speak soon.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.